This is the all-new Shadow Systems CR920P. I'm Mike with the Hunt Fish Shoot channel, and today we're going to be covering everything and anything you need to know about the all-new CR920P. To start it off, I'm going to run 200 rounds through this thing to break it in. I'll cover the specs for you, and then after I cover all those specs for you, I'm then going to go and show you how it compares to a CR920 and an MR920 from Shadow Systems. But follow along and find out how it shoots. Let's pump those 200 rounds and break this pistol in. Where is the recoil at? Ooh, buddy. That sucker is flat. It is so flat. Holy smokes. It's like no recoil. Halfway through that break-in period, let's keep firing. All right, the CR920P, Shadow Systems' newest micro-compact offering. This pistol comes in at a Glock 48 overall length on your slide and barrel, and everything like that because of the compensator. However, the overall top end on this pistol, barrel length and size of the pistol per se, is like a CR920, which is like a Glock 43. So you are gonna get an 11 round capacity or 13 round capacity depending on which magazine you choose. You do get two magazines, one 11 round, one 13 round. The 13 rounder is really nice because with that extra little bit you get on the bottom, you can get nearly a full grip. What I will say is when you're doing reloads, be very careful as to how you do them, if you're trying to do them quickly or anything like that, because I pinched my finger while just going through that 200 round burn down or break-in period, and while I did that, I pinched it so bad it literally bled all over the gun. Had to go get a band-aid and, you know, practically had to apply a tourniquet. But I digress. So right out of the gate, what I can tell you with the CR920P is the recoil impulse and overall recoil that you get from this pistol is significantly less. The muzzle climb and let's say overall snappiness is nearly gone. I really don't notice any whatsoever. This thing feels like it hardly recoils at all, if at all. And comparison to my CR920, which I have well over 1,000 rounds through, that pistol, I regularly get slide bite with it. It's not something that makes me not want to shoot it because I still like how it shoots compared to the other ones on the market for myself personally. But this pistol, I didn't get a single bit of slide bite through 200 rounds of quick shooting and going to target transitions, everything like that, magazine changes, reloads, whatever it might be, and I had no issues whatsoever with getting slide bite, which is really nice. And with the CR920 pistols, or really any Shadow Systems pistol in general, you do get a pronounced beavertail on the rear end, which I really appreciate because it helps reduce or mitigate that ability to get slide bite. And on their larger frame pistols, I don't get it whatsoever, which if you pick their Glock counterpart, I nearly always get it on any of the pistols I shoot. And these ones, again, only the CR920 is the only one I get it on, but this pistol in general with the P model and the compensator, I don't get that at all. Now with all that being said, the barrel length on this is just a hair longer than what you're getting on your CR920. It's just over 3 inches long, and then you do have this compensator. With the comp on here, it is not a thread-on compensator, so it's actually legal in all 50 states across the country. And that being said, it has a, let's say, a proprietary system and locking mechanism of how it locks on there, which they give you a tool in there to take it apart if you want to. For myself personally, you don't really need to clean your comps or clean your barrel all that much, so you don't have to do that a lot, but it's nice that Shadow Systems makes it easy to take your comp off the gun and take the barrel out and change and clean the pistol really, really easily. And it's not some long drawn out process where you're having to unthread things, rock set, or anything like that. That isn't the case with these pistols. Outside of that, the CR920 pistols in general, you do get night sights on here. It's a blacked out rear sight with a night vision front green dot system on the front. The optics cut on here is a multi-optic system, meaning you could put arguably whatever optic you want on here that's a micro size for these micro compact pistols. The 507K, the EPS Carry, Vortex Defender, those ones right now, I know they fit on there. I've seen them regularly. There's tons of other brands that make, let's say, that K style footprint that can fit on this pistol. And you're not gonna have any issues with that. You do get a shim plate on there to fit that, then different screw lengths that will go with that. With this CR920 pistol, it does come with Shadow Systems trigger in here. Now the trigger itself on this Elite model feels really good. If I had to compare it to how my CR920 original pistol came, I'd say this is considerably better. There's no grit whatsoever in the trigger. There's a little bit of mush there at the wall, which is standard for Glock style pistols. And then a little bit of creep, and then a clean break. And reset on it is a short reset. So what you guys will see here is you see some take up, a little bit of mush, and then there's my defined wall, and then it breaks. Okay, and then your reset on here is somewhat short. Say it's about 1/4 of an inch, and then there's nearly no take up or let's say mush once you're at that. On the front end, you can mount your sub lights like your TLR series lights, and then outside of that, magazine release seems like it's pretty easy to get. Grip textures on here are really good. You do got a little bit of index points here. They call it like almost like a gas pedal type design. It's not a whole lot you're getting on there like some of their larger frame pistols, but the grip textures on here are identical to those. And you know, releasing the magazine on here, pretty standard stuff for your micro compacts. It shoots out, it comes out easy, but you are gonna have to break your grip to do that. And for reference point, while we're going through this video, I do wear large size gloves, and I can't even go into like the extra large size for hands on gloves, but overall the pistol fits my hand really well, especially for a micro compact pistol. Overall shootability of the pistol thus far, I mean, this thing stacks right up there with every other, let's say, comped pistol that you get from the factory on the market. If you're talking like a Spectre comp, a Macro, or the Hellcat RDP, I've shot all of those pistols, and this thing shoots better, if not at least as good as those, you know. And it's really good to see another option come to the market, because generally when people complain about your micro compacts, what steers them away from these pistols is the snappiness from them. And this pistol doesn't have any of that snap. 200 rounds, perfectly reliable. They designed this pistol to be reliable. Okay, some comp designs go more for, let's say, recoil impulse and taking out more reduction of recoil or taking out muzzle climb. And they went for a nice blend of, let's say, reliability and muzzle climb reduction. And I think that they've really hit the mark on this pistol in general. You guys know it's really no, let's say, mystery that we're big fans of Shadow Systems pistols. I've owned a ton of them. We started working with them, so we're getting a few more, trying them out, and I'm super happy with this pistol thus far. Today, what I'm also gonna do for you guys is I'm gonna shoot it side by side with a CR920. Okay, so you'll see the CR920P next to a CR920, and then outside of that, next to an MR920, because the overall, let's say, size or profile of this pistol is fairly similar to an MR920 with the longer, let's say, barrel and comp on there. But the slimness of it is quite a bit less once you get on the MR920. So again, I will shoot these side by side, give you some closing thoughts, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. To start off for comparison, I'm going to start out with the CR920, compare it to the CR920P. Once that's completed, CR920P versus an MR920. And eventually, guys, we are going to end up doing a full-blown comparison between the other comp pistols in the micro compact category, like your SIG and your Hellcat RDP. But again, start out here with some non-comped but comparable sizes. So pay attention to recoil. All right. This would be a CR920P. I mean, it's obvious that this recoil is less than that CR920. It's obvious, it's way less. Yeah, I hope you guys can really see it on the camera, because hands down, this P model is a significant difference in how the CR920 feels. And I always thought that those feel good as far for snappiness, but the P model, at the least, we're talking a 30% reduction to recoil, at least felt recoil, how it feels. So with the significant reduction I'm noticing recoil with that P model, let's shoot another mag through each of these just to confirm that. Yeah, whew, it's way down. And that's not to say how much different they are. The CR920 is hard to shoot, because I don't have any issues making good hits with this pistol and, you know, say rapid follow-up shots, but it ain't close to the P model. And again, the P model, I'll add too, I'm not even shooting this P model now with the pinky extension like I just had on the CR920, and it's just so flat. Yeah, that's honestly incredible how much flatter the P model shoots. And between the two of them, you'd be silly not to get the P model over that regular CR920. But let's shoot an MR920 next to it and see how it compares to a, let's say, a compact pistol like a Glock 19 or the MR920. CR920 now after the MR. That's truly impressive. For a micro compact pistol like this CR920P to be in this size package and shoot like my MR920, I mean, they practically shoot identically as far as recoil wise goes. Maybe a little bit easier on that MR just because of the overall size of it, but to have a pistol in this size category, in this size range, shoot like that is just a really, really nice option for somebody looking for a flat shooting micro compact pistol. So that last segment there, CR920P, MR920, I carry this pistol quite often, mostly, let's say, heavier clothing items, things like that, warmer or colder weather. Something like my CR920, I carry that in your warmer weather environments, like right now in Ohio, it's end of May, and the CR920P shoots as flat as my MR920. And in fact, between the two of them, I honestly can't, looking at my target here, I'm shooting at about 7 yards, and I really don't see much of a difference. And let's say the size of the ragged hole that I shot between the two pistols. You can see the difference between the CR920 and the CR920P, but seeing a difference between these two pistols, I mean, they're nearly identical, and they shoot nearly identically as far as for recoil impulse and how they feel under recoil. And what I'll really look forward to is in a future video when we compare the CR920P versus, let's say, the other competitors on the market that come from the factory with a comped reported barrel, because this thing is an absolute knockout. And I think the price that these come in at, which I haven't mentioned yet, is close to 900 bucks. It's right on line with the rest of the ones on the market, whether you're talking from SIG or Springfield, and you know, even let's say Performance Center or Shield, it's right in line with the rest of those. It's not all that much more, if at all, or it's a little bit cheaper than the ones from SIG, and it shoots like those, and I've shot them. So we'll compare it in a future video. But until then, guys, check out the CR920P, because this is hands down one of the flattest shooting micro compact pistols on the market. Outside of that, make sure you please like, comment, and subscribe. Just a little blood. Word of the wise, move your fingers before you go slamming the magazine in there. God bless America.